Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Wanted to share this collection of lessons called Default Happy. It's one that I've been working on for the last couple of years, last year, and going into this year and later this year, trying it more. And the collection of lessons, kind of side YouTube videos that I do, is more about life, right? And you can put me in the background, listen to me, or you can watch me draw some cool things and paint if you want. But basically, I'll be talking about this thing that I call default happy. And to give you kind of a scenario of where this would apply, let's say you are, I don't know, doing something in the kitchen, and your spouse or kid or whichever comes around the corner, sneaks up to you, and scares you, right? Usually the first thing people do is they get scared and then they react. And usually how they react, is either with anger or with surprise or with happy, oh, you got me good, or it's angry, like, don't do that again. Like, it's mad because they might feel embarrassed or whichever, which is fine. It's emotions. But how you control your response to these situations, if you try and live in a default happy type of mood, nothing really kind of gets at you or nitpicks in your brain or keeps you from sleeping it or whichever, right? So yeah, basically, default happy is when you, if something happens, let's just call it this little box. If something happens here, how do you respond to it? You want to respond with, these are some really good, this looks like it. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to respond with happy, the surprise one is one that takes some learning, I'd say. One of the ways that I first kind of learned it was driving, right? So you're driving along a road, and there's two lanes that you're going down, and you're one car, and you're sitting over here, and you're cruising, and somebody just, in this car, he pulls right in front of you, right? People will, instantly start getting road rage, or he should have got, back in the lane back there. I'm in the left lane, or I'm in whichever lane. He should have done this. And that's one of the key words that I really tried to remove out of my life, is the word should. Because if you should, it kind of gives that like emotional response of, well, you didn't do this and you should have. To kind of give more of an example, it would be like, you should have put that paper in, or you should have done your homework a week ago. Maybe, but that's already passed. So how effective is this word should anymore when you're telling, your kid, or you're telling yourself that you should have done your homework? It's not very effective, right? You live in the now, right? The better kind of explanation you'd say to your kid, or you'd say to yourself, is, I wish I did this earlier, but I'm dealing with this right now. Next time I will, plan better, or I will do my homework earlier. So whenever you come across a response, either like a surprise like this one, or if you come into a situation when, you're with other people or whichever, and somebody, let's say, drives and cuts you off, you want to default happy. It's like, oh, this guy obviously needed over. He could have, instead of he should have, he could have done it earlier. He's choosing to do it now. I'm okay with that. I will back off. I will follow the rules of the road. It's not, oh, I'm gonna, if somebody, another one is like the merging lane, right? Somebody comes in the merging lane, and you're coming up in here, and, this guy's coming over here, and he's got to speed up. His lane ends, right? I've seen so many aggressive drivers will just speed up and be like, no, he's got to get behind me. That's where he belongs. And it's just one of those situations where default happy is basically like, okay, we're in this together. Let's go. Maybe I can, move over like it says in most handbooks, and let him come in front of me, right? Like it's no big deal, right? Meanwhile, if you do take the, either passive aggressive response, or, you're upset because this guy cut you off, when really he might not have seen you, he might have. Maybe he's having a bad day, we don't know, right? So, but if you just default happy in those situations, it's not that big of a deal anymore. And that just makes me, is better quality of life overall. I'm not worried about, I'm not stressed about this guy. Next time if I see him, I'm gonna give him the, it's like, it's no big deal. It's just life. We're in this together. We're in life together. So those are two situations where, you want to default happy. The third would be more so, and this applies to any situation. The third could be maybe unfortunate news. It could be like your car broke down, It could be, you forgot to do something, or your spouse or whoever forgot to do something, and now it's your responsibility to handle that, right? So in those situations, most people, might need a breather, they might get angry, they might get frustrated. But basically, if you just think, okay, this is happening, it might have been preventable, not should have, but might have been preventable, but, we're gonna do this and learn from it now, right? So one example of default happy, in that situation, let's say, like a vehicle, right? So a vehicle is, you're driving along or whichever, and this has happened recently. And this is my great vehicle car, my SUV that I got. It's a BMW X5. It's pretty sweet, but it's got some issues. It's becoming a subscription, which isn't the greatest, and I'll talk about subscriptions in another video. But, I had some issues with it. First it overheated when I was on the road. And I thought, great, this is, I'm frustrated. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, well, this, if I only would have done more regular maintenance, if I would have seen the signs sooner, whichever, I could have prevented this. You get, at least in my, melancholy type mind, I get frustrated sometimes where it's like, this was preventable, I shouldn't have to do this, whatever. And that's where I take out the remove of the word should, like I was saying, and just say, okay, well, I'm in this now. Let me see what I can do. I'm a problem solver. I'll figure it out. So let's say I call my parents and I say, hey, I'm on the side of the road. Can you come pick me up? Come pick me up, sort it out. Sure, it costs a little bit of money, but, in the end, it is what it is. So basically, I could choose to have a frustrated, mad weekend because I lost my SUV. It's sitting on the side of the road in -50, because where I live, it's -50 all the time. Or I could default happy and say, okay, that happened. It's out on the side of the road. I'm going to enjoy the time that I have with my kids on this weekend because I don't have my kids every weekend. So I'm going to enjoy the time that I have. So I default happy. That's another scenario. So just wanted to give that, quick video of default happy. It's something so simple. But if you can just, any reaction to anything, it could be you getting called into the boss's office, it could be, you're getting surprised, it could be an unfortunate event or somebody, passing away, it could be on the road like I showed over here. So I just want to share that if you can default happy, I find that for me at least, it gives me better, emotional stability, more, I won't be making rash, harsh decisions of, cutting people off and being upset and then it affecting my whole night. It could affect my time with my friends, my kids, my spouse, my sleep, because I've had nights where I just overthink things and it bugs me, and it's just like, if I just would have defaulted happy, it would have made the scenario a lot better. So this is it for the collection of lessons today. Is just something simple, something plain, just default happy, and just remember that everybody's in life together, and sure, things might cost you money and they might cost you time. But if you just kind of remove the whole word of should, and if you just laugh about it and just think, oh, this is fine, I'm going through it. Everybody goes through something like this. Everybody breaks down once in a while. Everybody gets somebody pulled in front of them. Everybody gets surprised. Everybody has somebody that may, pass away. It is what it is. So I wanted to share that. Thanks for watching these videos. I got more coming up. And yeah, just default happy.